Hello, folks. It's Axel. I hope you guys be taking care of yourself. Today I'm doing a presentation about nations versus ignorance. Humanity is an ignorant species. I want to explain the difference between being nation and being ignorant because most people don't know what ignorant and nations actually is. They confuse the two things, even though they're quite similar, but there is a difference between both nations and ignorance, and I'm going to explore that in this presentation. Okay. um let's go to the next slide. Is the truth really hidden from people? Then you have nations versus ignorance, the context of not knowing. Okay. Nations, from the Latin verb nesciere, which means to not know because knowledge was absent or unattainable. So it means you're not knowledgeable, you don't know because the knowledge itself was not there. Okay, it was absent and you couldn't get it. It was not possible to gain. Okay, that's what nations is. Okay, there's a difference between being nation and ignorant. Okay, nations is when somebody doesn't know something because the knowledge is not there. You know what I'm saying? That's what nation is. And then we're gonna see ignorance, from the Latin verb ignorare, to not know even though necessary information is present because the information has been willfully refused or disregarded. Okay, ignorant means you ignore the information that's been given to you. Okay, you say I don't want it. I say fuck you, I don't want the information. Could they give a shit? That's what human beings are. Okay, the vast majority of human beings are ignorant. The information to end human slavery and to create freedom and prosperity for all beings on this planet is there. It's so overwhelming, the information, that the knowledge is so overwhelming today in today's world, that it would take you literally couple lifetimes to go all through the information. You can drown in it. Okay, yet human beings don't want that. They don't want the knowledge, the sufficient knowledge to end human slavery and suffering on this planet, to end government and all this bullshit system. You know what I'm saying? Human beings are an ignorant species. They don't want the information. The information is present. People just refuse it. They don't want it. Okay. So let's go to the next slide. The concept of evil with ignorance and nations. The difference between nations and ignorance can be demonstrated through the concept of evil existing or not. In a reality where there will be an innocence of no evil, it will be an experience of nations of evil, because there will be no evil action done by anyone and therefore no evil around for them to know that evil exists, and therefore evil will not exist because evil will not be manifested through action and behaviors to recognize that evil exists. As a species, we are currently manifesting any form of wrongdoings and evil that perme- permeates permeates all around us. Yet people choose to be willfully ignorant of this evil. Okay, there is a difference between nations of evil and ignorance of evil. Okay, like I said, nations is the very reason why humanity is a slave species, and we are currently enslaved as a species, because people ignore evil. They know evil is there, okay, but they don't give a shit. They condone evil behaviors, and they practice immoral behavior that cause harm to other beings. And they keep doing it all over again. That's what most human beings are doing now. That's why we are enslaved. Okay, we are not nation of evil. We are ignorant of evil. We refuse to ignore that. We don't want to accept that evil is there and try to end evil and stop it. Okay, that's the problem, and people need to understand this. Okay, why is humanity an ignorant species? Humanity is currently an ignorant species because he accepts that which is not true and refuses to accept that which is true. Most people don't want to destroy or abandon their erroneous belief system because it requires change and effort to do so. And most people hate to do any internal work because they are lazy and apathetic. Yeah, most people, the very reason we are an ignorant species is because we accept that which is not true. We accept erroneous belief systems that's been given to us, okay, since we were born, okay, we were born, and then we refuse the truth. We say fuck you, fuck to the truth. We raise our middle finger to the truth. We say we don't want the truth. We want the lies and deception. And that's why we're enslaved. Most people don't want to destroy or abandon any dogmatic, erroneous religious system because it requires a lot of effort to do so, and then it will make people uncomfortable. They will like remove people from the comfort zone, you know. And people don't like to struggle and suffer and struggle and for the right reason and for the right progress, for the right cause, because people are selfish. They care about themselves, and they love the system of slavery. Quite frankly, you see it everywhere. People are not awake at all. Okay, the dumb bags of shit that as soon as the mouth open, verbal diarrhea comes out of it. That's all it is. They're lazy. Okay, they want to complain, they want to blame the system, they want to blame a group of people, when in point of fact it's us doing to ourselves because we're condoning immoral behaviors. Okay, is the order follower that is more culpable than the order giver. Okay, and most people don't want to hear that. The people think human beings are a nation species. We're not nation. We're ignorant. There is plenty of knowledge. The knowledge is so overwhelming that you can drown in it. People are not interested in the real knowledge to end human slavery. Okay, human beings don't give a shit about truth and knowledge about anything. That's why the owner of this planet, so-called owner, okay, they are winning. They are successfully enslaving the human population, and they're gonna continue to do so until we stop them and we accept the truth, and we try to do something with the knowledge. Okay, because otherwise they're gonna keep winning every time, and there's gonna come a time we won't be able to stop them because they're gonna restrict every mean to access knowledge. Okay, that's why we have censorship now. People need to understand this concept, you know what I'm saying? Ignorant is not bliss. Okay, ignorance is evil, period. I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, ignorance is bliss." That's the problem. A lot of people in the freedom movement, they want to excuse people ignorance. They want to blame the elite for the problem. No, you need to blame yourself. One, because people who know all this stuff are doing nothing to explain uh, to the masses in a formalized ways and through the media online how the system really works. They keep their mouth shut. They're just keyboard warriors, or they want to pat you on the back, but they're doing nothing. Two, they want to excuse the ignorance of people instead of being harsh on people who don't get it, who don't want to get it. Okay? Because their ignorance is your enslavement, whether you want to accept it or not. Okay? Doesn't matter. The very reason why people like me or other people are doing the great work or try to expose the evil of this world, we are currently enslaved, even though we know what's happening, is because the majority of human beings are ignorant. So their ignorance, it's our enslavement because we are bound to it, to them, to their ignorance. You know what I'm saying? It's an aggregate thing. Okay, because if the majority accept slavery, even though the minority of people don't want slavery, we're gonna have to unfortunately live by the rules. Very unfortunately, because the majority of people comply to the system, which will make for anyone who's against the system to unfortunately be compliant to the system. You know what I'm saying? And be part of the system. Yeah. People say ignorance is bliss. You're full of fucking shit. If you think ignorance is bliss, you're full of fucking shit. You're a sick person. You should go visit some psychiatrist, okay? Because you're sick. You're a psychopath. If you think that ignorance is bliss, ignorance is evil. Is the root and stem to all evil. Period. Get that through your head. Since ignorance is evil, therefore most human beings are not good people. Yeah. Most people, most human beings on this planet are not good people. Okay? People will say, "Oh no, generally most human beings are good people." They are not. Okay? As harsh it may sound, that's the case. Because human beings are ignorant. Okay, they're not nascent, they're ignorant. They refuse to acknowledge the truth and the knowledge about these dynamics. Therefore, that makes them evil people, that makes them bad people, because you're ignorant, you're not knowledgeable. Okay, the knowledge is there, it just people don't give a shit about the knowledge. How many times you go on the street, you ask people about real good important questions about the system, they walk by you and say, "I don't know, I don't care," or they give you dumb answers. Okay, because people are ignorant, they don't give a shit about the knowledge about natural law and how the system really works, how the dynamics of creation really works, and they're accepting the system of slavery that we're living. So therefore that they cannot be good people, most human beings, because they accept the system of slavery and they're condoning immoral behaviors. Okay, the world could not be possibly be in a manifested condition of slavery if the above statement was not true. Exactly. Because it's true, most human beings are not good people because they are condoning the system of slavery. Okay, we're living currently in a system of slavery, and in order to happen is because Human beings are not good people right now. They're not behaving as good people. They're immoral people. Most human beings. Okay, that's the condition of humanity. It's not inherent. Okay, that's not the nature. Okay, it's the condition. It's different. Okay, that's why, because good people do not allow slavery to exist. Okay, we do not good people do not tolerate immoral behaviors and evil. Good people do everything within their power to stop slavery and evil. Okay, it doesn't matter what, no matter what. Okay, and people need to understand this. Regardless of their intentions, more people are either more relativists and have not resolved the internal contradiction which hold them back their action from alignment to true goodness. 100% true statement. Most people don't want to hear that. They want to talk about intention is everything. Full of shit. Action is everything. Okay? You need to do it. It's not enough to say it that you know. You need to do it. To not do is not to do. Is not to not do is not to know. Okay? That's the phrase of a famous Chinese philosopher. 100% true. You can know everything, but you doing nothing with the knowledge. Therefore, you don't know. You're ignorant. Okay? Manifestation of reality through ignorance. Okay? You can use the trivium progress, the inversion of the trivium progress, the trivium process. Sorry. You see, you have at the top, you have, let's talk about the trivium real quick. You have the modern version of the trivium is grammar, logic, and rhetoric. Okay, the ancient version of the trivium is knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Okay, if you want to invert this in the evil, you will start with replace knowledge. You have knowledge, and the inversion of knowledge, the opposite of knowledge, is ignorance. Okay, so which is the principle of mentalism, the mind. Okay, ignorance. Then you have the very top, the available information. This constitutes all potential forms of data that may be gathered, processed, and understood and acted upon by individuals. You see, when you are ignorant, you receive ignorance. Your ignorance, there is a state. There is a state of ignorance, and people are ignorant. It leads to confusion. Okay, you don't understand what's happening. You are confused when you're ignorant. Okay, which leads to folly. You're doing immoral behaviors for the result of from the result of ignorance and confusion. You're doing immoral behaviors which lead to slavery. Okay, that's the condition of humanity right now. Human beings are ignorant. They accept ignorance. They justify ignorance and immorality, which lead to confusion, obfuscation of the truth, internal confusion and external confusion, which lead to folly, which lead to slavery. That's why we're enslaved as a species, folks. People don't want to hear that, but that's the case, folks. And then you have here, I already went through all this. You have natural law expression. Let's focus to the negative section, since the topic of today's presentation is nations versus ignorance. You see the negative, ultimately ignorance responds to the negative, to the generative polarity of fear. Okay, when you're not conscious, when you're not conscious, you're fearful. When you're fearful, it leads to ignorance. You don't want to, you ignore the truth. That's what ignorance is, refusal of the information and the knowledge of truth. Okay, that's what ignorance is, which is comes from fear, a place of fear. Okay, which leads to confusion, which is internal anarchy, which will lead to control, because people who want to control other people or accept the system of slavery are fearful, ignorant, confused people. They want to be control freaks, and which lead to chaos and slavery. Period. That's all that's all it can lead to. Period. Okay? That's why you have control, which is external monarchy, which is government, and then you have manifested evil, which is chaos and slavery. I would have put slavery over there, but it's okay. Ignorance can only lead to control, like we talked about in the previous slide. Control, confusion, chaos, and manipulation and slavery. Okay, period. That's what ignorance can only lead to. Okay, period. Ignorance cannot lead to freedom or prosperity. If you think that you're full of fucking shit, okay, how about that? You're dumb as dog shit. You're dumb as dog shit if you believe that ignorance is bliss, and yeah, that we have to excuse people's ignorance when people ignorance is enslaving people like me who are doing something to expose the evil of this world. Okay, it leads to slavery, which is the condition of humanity currently, unfortunately. It leads to a police state and socialism or Nazism or whatever form of government, the government in general, which is human slavery, and the order following, like the military as well, and which will lead to genocide and suffering and slavery. That's what ignorance can only lead to. Okay, and people need to understand this. We need to stop excuse people for their ignorance and tell them like it is. Okay, because ignorant people are evil people because they ignore the truth. Okay, period. And then it leads to more relativism. If you're ignorant, it will lead you to more relativism, the destroyer of all freedom. A lot of people in the freedom movement are more relativists, okay? The ignorant bags of shit. You see them everywhere on the social media platform or the alternative platforms. The dumb as dog shit and the chicken shit cowards. Can even put the real name. Imagine this shit. Okay? More relativism, the destroyer of all freedom. More relativism is the ideology, religion that objective morality does not exist inherently to nature, and that right and wrong are subjective constructs which human beings may invent and arbitrate according to time, location, circumstance, or preference. In truth and reality, morality is objective. Rights can never become wrongs, and wrongs can never become rights at any place or time, regardless of how many people believe it or wish for it to be so. That's what ignorance lead to. It will lead to more relativism. A more relativistic society like ours right now happened because it manifested because of people ignorance. They ignore the truth. They think everything is subjective, is based on their own perception, and that's why we're enslaved, folks. I- Ignorance leads to more relativism and Satanism. Period. To a satanic society. It leads. Ignorance is living in opposition to natural law, which will lead to control, enslavement, poverty, war, evolutionary stagnation, and extinction. And folks, we are currently on the before the last one on evolutionary stagnation, and we're heading to extinction, folks, as a human species. If we don't reverse the condition of slavery, and many people don't want to hear that. Okay, and then we have quotes on this subject. There is only one good, knowledge, and one evil, ignorance. 100% true. A quote from Socrates. 100% correct statement. Ignorance is the root and stem of every evil. 100% true. I agree. It's true. Ignorance is the root and stem of every evil. Plato he is correct about this. Okay, regardless whether you agree or don't like what he says, it doesn't matter. This statement that he has done is true. Is correct. Ignorance is the root of all evil, because once you refuse the truth, only bad things can manifest. Period. That's it. There's nothing. That's the truth, folks. I mean, that's according to the laws of creation. That's it. You cannot be a bad person and thinking a good things can happen to you. No, it's not possible. But that's it for this presentation. You can find me on BitChute, Odyssey, and YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna upload this presentation on BitChute, Odyssey, and YouTube. Thank you for watching, folks. I hope you all take care. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.